Welcome to another video, A Walk with Phil, and I'm here in West Bromwich. And what I thought I'd do today is take you along a road that was once one of the most industrial roads in West Bromwich. And what I want to do really is to have a look around and see what is left of industry along this road. The road in question is Spon Lane. It was well known for industry, but more well known for its pubs. So let's have a look, shall we? Okay then folks, so our journey along Spon Lane begins here. Although it's not officially Spon Lane any longer, it's now West Bromwich Ringway. But this was the official start point of Spon Lane back in around about the early 70s. We've got Bull Street to the right. We've got the Upper High Street here, just ahead of me. Just beyond the bus there, that would be Princess Parade, which used to be the High Street, but now of course it's all pedestrianised. We've got a dessert shop here just ahead of me. If that used to be, through there would have been Paradise Street. I have to admit I don't remember Paradise Street hardly at all. And then somewhere along here would have been another road. I think it'd been further down at the end here. Probably would have been Barrows Road, Barrow Street. Yeah, and just here, where I'm standing here, would have been a pub called the Bull's Head. And just here where the dessert shop is, that would have been the Dartmouth Hotel. Dartmouth Hotel, one of the licensees of the Dartmouth Hotel was a certain Billy Bassett, who used to play for the West Bromwich Albion back in the turn of the 20th century. And just here would have been the Imperial Cinema. Fabulous looking building, if I remember. The site of the Imperial was here since about 1912, but it was actually reconstructed in around 1921. Again, Billy Bassett was one of the board directors of the new Imperial in 1921. Yeah, but it didn't last very long as a cinema because it closed in around 1963 when new owners decided bingo was going to bring in more money than cinema goers. But it did reopen as a cinema again in 1969, but sadly by 1975 it had closed, and in 1978 it was bulldozed to the ground. Another fabulous looking building, you know, given over to the bulldozer. And when you look ahead here, all we got here is just a car park. Although, albeit it was the car park of a supermarket where it's got JD Gyms now. That was Safeway, there's an Aldi's, Morrison's, I think it was B&M as well. It's been one or two stores actually, but no, it's a gym, and it's got this big car park. And yeah, so it was sad to see the Imperial closed down. Now, as we go along Spon Lane, I'm only going to go so far as where it ends at Kelvin Way. There is another part of Spon Lane. Yeah, they now call it Spon Lane South, but I'll probably be filming around there in a separate video, because that was where it was very industrialised along there. But this particular part of Spon Lane still has history, and we've already seen how much it's changed. Just that top just behind me. But here on the corner of Spon Lane now, we've got this huge Sandwell College, and it is absolutely huge. It took the place of 5 or maybe 6 colleges that were all demolished over the years, and it's still not big enough because we've got another couple of colleges down the lower part of the High Street in West Bromwich. We've also got around here, we've also got a building here called Terry Duffy House on my left. Some of that is been given over to the college, and also if we can just see through the trees here, we've got the Bond Wolf House. Some of those floors are also given over to Sandwell College. You know, so there's just not enough room for students. Yeah, this is a difficult one now, because I also want to try and point out to you where all these pubs were that were along Spon Lane. It was said that Spon Lane had 22 pubs along here. That just showed you how much industry was along these parts. We've already seen where the Bull's Head and Dartmouth Hotel were, just at the top end behind me. And it's very difficult to actually pinpoint. Could have been around here somewhere. There was a pub called the Steam Packets. It was also known as Puffing Billy. I haven't got the dates of when they were demolished, but a lot of these were demolished around about late 60s, early 70s. Just to my left here, there was a road just coming off Spon Lane, and it was, I think it looks as though it was here. I was trying to figure out whereabouts it was. You can just see there where the end of the road terminated. That would have been Thomas Street. And we can't really see much of it because of all the cars that are parked along here. But yeah, that would have been Thomas Street. That would have led up to George Street, the site of where all George Salter Spring Company was. And just on the corner of Thomas Street, which would have been around here somewhere, there would have been a pub called the Cottage Spring. Yeah, there's Terry Duffy House, just beyond the railings. Yeah, the Cottage Spring was just there on the corner. Now we're officially on Spon Lane. Now we've left what used to be Spon Lane. There's the West Bromwich Ring Rail. We'll have a quick look up there for you, and just have a quick look back up to where I've just come from. Spon Lane was and still is a busy road, but when you think about all the industry that was at the top end here of Spon Lane, which was mainly spring making companies, you can understand how much noise and how many people were milling around these particular parts back in the day. But now when you have a look up George Street now, where George Salter's once was, there's nothing there but a car park. And the only reason why is a bit of activity along here at the moment is because they're demolishing what once used to be West Bromwich Spring here on my right. I do believe they're going to be building houses along there. It was a very old company, was West Bromwich Spring. It was, the West Bromwich Spring Works was built in about 1896, and they were still making springs up until 2007. Ahead of me here, beyond all this railings, just go through the railings. Now you can have a look. You can see this is all car park, but this was once the site of the George Salter Spring Company. Yeah, hardly anything left of it now. Just ahead of me here, by this wall somewhere along here, somebody might know, but that would have been a pub there called the Bridge. It was called the Bridge because we're going to cross the railway bridge now. We're crossing the old railway line that used to be the Great Western, that would run from London to Liverpool. There you go, just over there. But now it's a metro line, and the metro line runs from Birmingham to Wolverhampton. That was opened in 1999. Just ahead of me there is Varney Avenue, which is a relatively new road. There's a lot of factory units down there. Okay folks, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take you down one of a very old road. This is called Bell Street. Just ahead of me there on the corner, that would have been a pub there called the New Bell. You can see the site has been cleared. Yeah, that's where the New Bell used to be. Let's have a look down here then. Let's have a look down Bell Street. It's a very old road. It's there was there's a lot of old industries along here. Some of them, the building's still standing. Okay, here to my right we've got a kind of do-it-yourself trade yard, do-it-yourself trade yard, block pavers, fencing, that kind of thing. Just to my left here, that's an old looking building as well. I think that used to be, someone told me that could have been a joinery place or a sawmill of some kind. Okay, some very old buildings here on my right. Again, I've been reliably informed that this first house is still a house here in Bell Street, amongst all this industry. The first one here. The others, it looks as though they've been turned into offices. And they said these buildings are around 177 years old. Okay, ahead of me there's some part of the old Eagle Tube Works as it once was back in the day. Yeah. Now, we're going to have a walk along this little through road. It's called Haynes Road. This one here was also part of the Eagle Tube Works, but now it's been renamed as Hackett's Pipeline. I think that was Hackett was the name of the Eagle Tube Works, and now they're just officially now known as Hackett's Pipeline, making plumbing parts, pipes. Yeah, Hackett's Pipeline. They've got a trade counter here on the right. It's a very old part of the Eagle Tube Works here called Hackett's, and there's one of the original gates from way back when. It's got the actual name Hackett's there. You can see Hackett's there in the ironwork gate. All rusted up, barred up windows there, look. Yeah, very old building this on my right. But now this is called Alpo Foundry. You can see aluminium products there on that above the door. Yeah, it seems to be all going on down Main Street. Very busy road. A very industrialised road still. Yeah, aluminium products. We'll just have a crossover here, and you can see that a lot of the windows you can see are all concreted up and boarded up. Just down the end of Alpro Foundry, which has been here some time now, but beyond there used to be the Spon Iron Foundry, owned by Bullock and Sons, and they've been there since 1805. There's still some of the old factory just still down there at the bottom on my right of Watton Street. And here on my right now is still part of Britannia Iron Foundry. Just here is Cottage Walk, not far from the pub, the Cottage Spring. There's the new bell that would have been there, just there on the corner. Just ahead of me here, the Foundry Gym. The Foundry Gym. And all along there, I remember, used to be Peerless Press. They used to be printers back in the 70s. And they used to print the West Bromwich Albion football programme, which always used to win prizes for being the best football programme in the league back in the day. It's Bolton Road, just ahead of me. Here, before all these newer buildings were here, there used to be some factories here called, they were generally sawmills, but no trace of those now. Not sure, this building now, it says it's some kind of solicitors and an accountant's. Okay, Bolton Road here. Just ahead of me here, on this corner. Yeah, there used to be another pub here. Like one of 22, as I said before. And do you know, out of all the 22, there's only one left. I'll show you that one in a bit. But yeah, this was the site here of the Anchor. That's Sam's Lane ahead. Britannia Iron Foundry there on the left. Some more of the works, because they had one side and another part on the other. Here was a Vauxhall dealership. Vauxhall closed their dealership about 10 years or so ago. Prior to that, here there used to be a brewery, Sponwell Brewery, but that's another one of those buildings that have long gone. It was taken over by Derby's, which was one of the more prosperous and popular breweries of West Bromwich before they were taken over themselves. But yeah, there was a brewery here. I wouldn't know if there's anything left of the brewery. I mean, look at those buildings, they look old. We got garages over there, Spon MOT and the car clinic. It's all to do with cars over there. Servicing, MOTs, that kind of thing. Okay, so what I'll do now is just to take a quick look back up to where we've come from. Just up there. Where the white building is, that's Sam's Lane. And you can see the huge college up there on the corner. Sandwell College. Okay, we've got Batch Street to my right. Or is it Bate Street? It's one of those, isn't it? Bate Street, Batch Street. Now here on my left here we've got Quest Trading and the Westfield Works. These again used to be old sawmills. These are turn of the century buildings. Sawmills, joinery. You look down there, there's Bate Street, Batch Street. Here we've got, here on my left, we've got the Punjab Broadcasting Channel, PBC. I'm presuming that's some kind of radio station. Okay, so when I mentioned earlier about there's only one pub left of all those 22 pubs that used to run along the entire length of Spon Lane, beginning with the Spon Croft right at the top end, which we won't be exploring today. But here it is. It's called the Flower Pot, and it's called the New Flower Pot. Reasons being, of course, is that the flower pots had 2 or 3 different incarnations over the years. This one, I believe, has been here since 1973. And it's got a tractor there on the plinth. It's not one of those bar grills, pizza, curry grill, that kind of thing. But at least it's still going, isn't it? It's still trading. Here is used to be an entrance to a road called Francis Street, but as you can see now, it's got mature trees and grass verge, and you can now no longer drive up Francis Street. I don't think Francis Street is a thing anymore. I don't think I think it's been wiped off the map. We've got the Spon Lane Fish Bar there to my right. Fish and chips, it used to be a cheap meal back in the day, didn't it? Something called Keto Plastics, but that used to be the Dairy Crest company, where all these electric milk floats would come here and collect their crates of milk for their morning deliveries. I can't remember the last time I saw one of them electric milk floats, but there was all the rage, weren't they, in the 60s, 70s, but it's still got the sign up there, Dairy Crest, but it's nothing to do with a dairy any longer. It's, as I said, it's Keto Plastics now. I was told that just there to the left, to the end of the building, there used to be a church. I was told it was called the Good Shepherd Church and a Sunday school, but I can't see any traces of that of a church being there. Yes, somebody said it was something there. It was down there somewhere. Here's the Spon Lane Superstore and an accountant shop. Very old shop, very old building. You can see at the end on the HR accountants, there's a window there that's been bricked up. And this is Parliament Street. Parliament Street had the Britannia pub right at the very end, somewhere up there. Now here on the corner used to be the Spon Lane School. I'm sure 1 or 2 of you may have remembered the Spon Lane School. It was built in 1889 and it was demolished in 1971. Another fine old building, bulldozed, and in its place are all these little flats. I'm taking you up here because when they demolish schools, sometimes there's a reminder left of it used to being a school. I'm not sure if there's anything left, but I'm seeing a wall ahead of me. Maybe that wall there could have had something to do with the school. It looks a very old dividing wall, doesn't it? You know, whether or not that was part of the school. But whilst I'm here, we might as well have a quick look down here, haven't we? It's called, what's it called? Walpole Walk. Yeah, as I say, this was the site of the school. Yeah. And there's the old wall. Got a chance, hasn't it? That it was part of the school. We're coming to the end of our short walk along this stretch of Spon Lane, and I hope it's brought back a few memories for you as we've come along here. And now let me show you what happens when we get to the end of this stretch of Spon Lane. Incidentally, on the left here, before all this new Kelvin Way and Kendrick Way were constructed, there was another couple of pubs, I believe. Again, it's one of them that I wouldn't know, but exact location. But there was the Wagon and Horses around here somewhere, and maybe just about here somewhere would have been the Highland Tavern. We've come to the end of Spon Lane, and you can see an extraordinarily busy road is now ahead of us. It's Kelvin Way to my right and Kendrick to the left, but Spon Lane would have carried on ahead of me there, and this is where a lot more industry would have been in Spon Lane. Quite a long road, and you can see just on the horizon there is a steeple that used to be Archibald Kendrick, another pots and pans manufacturer, and that's another area we will explore one of the days. But yeah, that's very well. Now, when you come to this island and you go right at the island, it's now called Spon Lane South, but this was Spon Lane originally, ahead of me. Okay then folks, so we'll call it a day on this one. I hope it's brought back a few memories for you coming down Spon Lane. We did manage to find a few industries along here. As I said earlier, there's far more industry ahead of us on the other part of Spon Lane, which I'll probably film another day. But anyway, in the meantime, if you like the video, hit the like button and also hit subscribe, and also hit the notification bell for future videos, and I'll see you on the next one.